takeaways. My biggest takeaways from the 10X GrowthCon event that just happened. This is 2022, and it was my first live event. I had attended last year's GrowthCon and it was virtual. I thought virtual was amazing. I mean, in person, it totally blows everything out of the water. The energy, like just being there in the presence of so many powerful people and everybody being there it's paying for knowledge, for improvement, for, you know, not just personal development. And even lots of people go just for the connections they make. And this is people in all different industries. So like from pool builders to landscapers to makeup artists. I don't know. I feel like I was the only Zaya rep and Lindsay, like Lindsay and I. And we were just like, that's impossible that there's not that many people here, especially from Zaya. I know Carrie Meltzer, she was watching the virtual option, which is what I did last year. But I've already purchased my ticket for next year. I'm like, I don't even know if I can make it or anything, but I am committed. And I want you guys to take that as a big takeaway. You gotta commit. You gotta commit to whatever it is. Even sometimes we have to make a sacrifice, or we have to take simply a leap of faith. Like, I don't know who the speakers are gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be sick. I don't know if my kids are gonna be able to right, like if I'm gonna be able to find somebody to watch the kids. I don't know. All I know is that as of March, what was yesterday? March 28th, I am committed. So what is this? So a year from now, because the event is gonna be next March, I believe so. It's every year in March, but I'm already thinking March, I'm still here. I'm still showing up and I'm gonna be there. So how about you guys? What are you committed to do 365 days from now? 365 days from now. Like, is your commitment that big? Like that if I said, what are you gonna be doing a year from now? You know what you're gonna be doing. I know what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be sitting my butt on a GrowthCon chair celebrating my transformation, my changes, my what I've implemented. Heck, I want to be on their stage. There was no Spanish speaking person on that stage. And it was just cool. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be there, but that's how I'm thinking. So what does that represent? I need to create results. I need to create a story worth sharing. So always, that's something that can help you. That's always something that I've had within me, that I want to create results that I can bring back to the people that are helping me, whether they're helping me close, like they know they're helping me, like how it would be between us or between you and your sponsor, or somebody that you're helping, who's on your team helping you. Like, honor the people that are helping you by creating results with the time and the effort that they're investing in you. Right? Sometimes we think that that we're not worthy of results, that we're not worthy of creating success. Well, don't create them for yourself. Create them for something bigger than yourself, for your family to brag about you, for your kids to brag about you. Create results so that you can go tell somebody, oh my God, look, you helped me accomplish this. Obviously do it for you, but I also know that sometimes we tend to put ourselves last. Do it for yourself. Create success. And one phrase that Grant says all the time is, success is my duty. Success is your duty. Nobody else is going to have success for you. Nobody can create success for you. Success is your duty. So that is something, I've heard that phrase all the time. I love that. Let me just read a couple of these there were some paintings, but I know these are some of his super classic quotes. And I'll tell you what, I know this call is about, so it's gonna sound like I'm like obsessed about it. I I'm sharing, and I wouldn't share something that hasn't had an impact or that in some way has helped me. So I am giving you guys the notes and big takeaways from this conference, but I also want you to know that the day I read, well, not the day, but when I read the 10X rule, it completely changed everything. And one of the biggest things that book helped me realize was that it was one of the first personal development books that I read. And when I read the book, it was like the first time in my life that I felt like I wasn't alone, that there were other crazy, ambitious people out there in the world, because growing up, I was always told, oh, you're too ambitious. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like a lot of people around me, because that's how my family grew up, right? With lots of scarcity, lots of, drama and things like that. So thinking the way that I was thinking was like, you're literally losing your mind. So when I read that book, it was like, oh, I'm normal. Like I'm normal. So in a way, I felt like there was somebody else out there that I was able to relate to. So I started following Grant. And yes, he's obnoxious and he curses a lot and all of that. But I feel like I relate to what he says. I relate. So he may be too much for some of you, whether you're here in person or you're watching the recording. Grant may be a lot, but I'm okay with that. I love that. So just know that I'm coming from that place, that it is somebody who has had for the last, I don't know, 8 or 9, 10 years, a huge impact in my thinking, in our finances. And I'm going to share with you guys a lot of that. Let the rest do whatever while you do whatever it takes. That's one of the quotes that I read. There were about 2,500 people, just like guess the ticket holders, and there were about, I don't know, maybe 300 500 people, like between staff and all of that. So it was a lot, and the lights and the music and the speakers. President Trump was the first speaker. It wasn't announced, nobody knew who it was going to be. So imagine getting to a place of such credibility that people trust so much, because you've given so much value, that you say, I'm going to have a conference. The tickets are different range of prices, and people are willing to pay 3,000, 5,000, 20,000 to buy a spot in a conference where there's absolute 100% trust that it is going to be amazing. And it was. But imagine getting to that point that people trust you for a conference where there's going to be speakers, and you don't even know what the speakers are going to be. So the first one was Trump. There was a lot of hate, and this is like a little gossip here, but the lessons in all of this, you have one of the biggest, regardless, I don't care if you like Trump or don't, nobody, it doesn't matter. I have mixed feelings, but whatever. We're not here to talk about politics. The bottom line is this: listening to Trump speak, it's one of the biggest takeaways. It's like, this is a guy that basically, he doesn't care if you like him or not. He stands firm in what he believes in what he wants to do, and he's going to show up. Like being able to create what he created, and regardless of that, like just the name. So overall, think about your name and branding yourself. That was like his biggest thing. Like what do you want to share about this? Is branding yourself and your name. Take ownership of your name and believe in yourself and your name, even though there's tons of other people out there creating success and whatever, but you have to put some love into your name and branding yourself and taking ownership that you are you, and that's your superpower. Okay, not comparing yourself to anybody else. So, and I'll give you guys an example. He talked about when he purchased, when he was nobody, right? Like he was just a Trump kid, whatever. But when he bought the first Trump, well, the building that is Trump Tower, when he bought it, the building was Tiffany. And he was able to put Tiffany, the name Tiffany on that building, name the building Tiffany, right? The jewelry store. And he asked somebody, some expert, I don't remember who it was, maybe his uncle, I don't even remember, but he asked somebody, would you, no, it wasn't his uncle, somebody else famous, real, some, I don't know, whatever, I'll figure it out, I'll find out who it was, I don't remember the name, but he said, I don't know, should I put my name, should I keep it Tiffany, like that's like really cool, it's such a big name, such a big brand, like wow, like cool, having it named Tiffany. And the guy said, when you change your name to Tiffany, you can put the name Tiffany. So he decided, okay, I'm going to put Trump and figure it out. And it became, again, regardless of who it is, it's a name that everybody knows. And if you are not known, you can't create success. So your name, take ownership of your name, your name, your name, your name is your brand. Okay, your name is your brand, and that's your legacy. So that, let me hold on, because I have like 3 notebooks for notes. Wait, oh my god, I have so many notes. Okay, yes, no, that's not my note, that's not my notes. Okay, hold on. Okay, here, dominate, don't compete. Like, dominate in what, everything that you do, value, deliver value, like be so good that people want to do business with you, regardless of how many competitors you have. Don't worry about competing with each other, worry about being the best at serving your people, at showing up as a remarkable person, because that, in that way, you attract people like that. So, and this was one of the things, I mean, just concluding from the whole thing, but this was just reminded yesterday in a mastermind, that showing up with excellence creates an environment where people that are remarkable, that are excellent, that people that lead with the same premises as you, they feel attracted to you. And something like a big takeaway for me is that I'm done. I'm done. And I know I've done this in the past a lot. I look for people who need this business, in the wording, in how I post, in who I reach out many times when I see somebody that I think they need this business. And it's not about that. It's about who I want, who my business needs, who does our team need to come on board, who does this make sense? Like, who do I need to be around with? Like, I feel like many times people that I prospect, and you know, not everybody says yes, obviously, but when I think about, man, why aren't they seeing the opportunity? Why don't they say yes? Like, why are they overthinking it? Like, it's because it's not the person, it's not my assignment. They are not the person that I'm supposed to be helping, because they don't see the opportunity for what it is. They don't see the you know, the flexibility and the opportunity that we have. So when you're looking for who do you want on your team, think about that. And I'm not going to tell you who I want you to have on the team. So it's something that you have to think about, but that's my conclusion. I want to be surrounded by people that want to work, that show up on team goals, that ask for help when they're struggling, instead of sitting there and complaining and then going and being a rotten apple with everybody else, complaining that this sucks, that blah, 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 that the market, that the economy. No, I want to be surrounded by the people that are thinking, man, things are tough right now, but we're going to get out of this. And they're going to trainings, they're reading the books, they're showing up, they're increasing their numbers. So how do you do that? It's being remarkable and showing up consistently and with self-discipline, because if you can't lead yourself, you can't attract people that lead themselves. Okay. And I know this is going to sound tough, but I am done not being myself. I am hardcore. I'm going to push you guys. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to be consistent. That's who I am. But sometimes we play small so that we don't scare people. I'm done with that. Like, that's not who I am. You don't want to work? Okay, I'm going to go find the people that want to work, but not sugarcoat it and not be like, oh, it's okay. It's no, it is okay. But I'm not going to let those challenges take me down, right? Because we are business owners. We have to fight for our business. If you are here, I mean, if you saw the post and the invite to this call and you saw 10X and you saw Grant Cardone, if you're on this call, you're here for it, right? Like, you're not here thinking, oh my God, Paula's losing her mind, because you saw what, right? Like, I gave it to you how it is. We're going to be successful. We're going to grow. We're going to change lives. We're doing this. My goal is that we have our faces on stages, that people want to know how we created results, how we created success. I was telling the girls on the call yesterday, I want to create millionaires. Yes, I want you guys to become millionaires. And the only way that that's going to happen, if we step into the uncomfortable and the hard stuff, and we say, you know what? It doesn't matter, because I don't have a deadline for this business. I don't have a deadline for creating wealth for my family. One big thing before I forget something, and I may remember when I go through this other notebook, but one thing that is important, if we can become, how many of you, raise your hand, or actually don't raise your hand, put in the chat, drop a 2 if you feel like you're a new person. Not right now, but like since you started, or if you feel like from comparing yourself to a couple years ago or a year ago, if you feel like you're a new person, like, do you feel like you've become somebody that you never thought you would become? That you think about who you were in the past and you're like, man, it feels good to be who I am right now. Drop it in the chat. Let me see. Oh, I see some. Okay, here I can see it. Yes, okay, good. I see a lot of 2s. Oh, some of you are like not proud of yourselves. That's like terrible. You are not the same person that you were a year ago. Yeah. Okay, so if we've had the ability to become a new person, we have the ability to achieve something that we haven't achieved before. And I want you guys to have that super clear in your minds. If you've been able to become this new version of yourself, you are able to achieve something that you've never achieved before. Yes, Vero, I see it. Virginia, I see it. I see you guys. I got my cup with my husband. So apparently I'm dramatic. Are you feeling it? So yes, I mean, it's incredible. I love that. If you can, and this was, I think, past Bishop T.D. Jakes. Oh my God, he is amazing. Even though I couldn't understand like a quarter of what he was saying, I'm like, can you just slow down? I'm ESL over here. Can you please? But when I have the recording, I'll take more notes, because I was like this, like, oh my God, yes, preach. And that was Saturday morning. Yesterday morning, no, one day, I don't even know what day is, a blur. It's so much. Sunday morning, it was Team Story. Have you guys ever heard Team Story? Rick Ross was there. I had no idea who Rick Ross was. I thought a white banker or something. I don't know. And then all I hear is hustle and hustle. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm listening to the guy. So this guy said, never leave money, that he never leaves money on the table. He's like, if it's $2, I'm gonna fight for it. If it's $3, I'm gonna fight for it. Like, he doesn't leave money on the table. He seeks every opportunity to make more money, because he's helping other people's lives. He's giving to other people. He's taking advantage of the opportunities that are out there. Okay, another thing, improve. Okay, this was big. So this was one of the biggest things about who talked about this. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember. Improve, well, okay, I don't even remember who this was. Okay, improve your strategies for gaining attention, getting more sales, and scaling. And in terms of scaling our business, how do we scale our business? Is building a team. That's how we grow our business, scaling. So when you think about, okay, I need to make improvements in my business, what do I need to improve? These are the three areas where there's always room for improvement and room for growth. Attention, how to get more attention, how to get more people to pay attention to you and not to, an ad or another rep. Attention, how do I sell more and how do I scale? Scale, the thing that takes care of scaling is parties and team building. Another thing, better known beats best. And I heard that quote before, and I have it here on my computer. And when you think about it, okay, better known beats best. What does this mean? It doesn't matter if you don't know everything. It doesn't matter if you're the top in the company or not. It's who's the most known. Who's the one being loud out there? Who's the one connecting with more people? So it's not about being the best. It's about being the best known. So get known. It goes back to your brand, your name, how you show up, how you're so disciplined and consistent. The one was a guy that talked about health and oxygen. One thing that he did talk about that I like, one of the biggest takeaways is sitting down is the new smoking. So more movement. And, we talk about that in Saya and we have activewear. It's encouraging more movement and being an example of movement, exercise, moving our bodies, using exercise and oxygen into our body to create more health. There's no point in being a wealthy person that can't enjoy the fruit of your work, right? Like there's no point feeling like crap and not feeling well. Because what do you do with everything that you've built? So making sure that we're making that part of that component of our lives a priority. Okay. Oh my gosh, wait. All right, hold on. So oh, okay, I'm gonna read these notes to you guys because TD Jakes was really good. So okay, so I did get some notes from him. Your family, customers, and team members need you to get out of your comfort zone. Get rid of every obstacle, barrier, wall, challenge to be able to do everything you're meant to do. If the world stops talking, we all go to hell. The power of life and death is in your mouth. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. Ooh, come on, go, you guys. Ooh. If you can't see the invisible, you can't do the impossible. So if you can't see it, even if it's not there, like even if it's almost like surreal, like it's not possible, you have to think that it is possible. And you have to almost like you close your eyes and you see it. Your goals, your dreams, the things that you want to achieve, how many people you want to help. Like seeing yourself walking on the stage and being recognized for this or that rank or this or that achievement, like all those things, you have to see them in your mind before they actually happen for them to become possible. Okay. Oh, so he said, when you're looking for people, well, a lot of what he was saying was around the idea of we lose our voice as we grow up. We lose our voice. Now, growing up, we say, oh, when I grow up, I want to be this. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. I'm going to be an astronaut, or I'm going to be I'm going to be Spider-Man. I'm going to be Wonder Woman. And then as we start growing and we start hearing other people, or people tell us, you're never going to be Wonder Woman. Like, why? You're crazy. That's a cartoon or whatever. It's the other voices from the outside that start getting in our heads, because we are naturally born with that ability to visualize ourselves being something that it almost seems impossible, right? So it's hard and it's a practice, and that's why it's so important to constantly be putting ourselves in spaces where all the other crazy people are. Because yeah, and it's true, because a lot of people around us are not thinking like we are. So we have to look. We left the conference yesterday, and we were getting, a friend and I, that somebody that I met there, we were both going to the airport. She's from Seattle, Savannah, and we were just standing there, and then there's this like 75-year-old guy, and he's standing outside of the hotel. We're waiting for an Uber, and I think he had a taxi, like a real taxi, parked outside, and he comes in, he's like, man, do you guys need a car, or are you waiting for an Uber? And we said, oh yeah. She said, oh yeah, we're waiting for an Uber. The guy goes on and on about how Uber's ruined everything for everybody. These young people don't know what they're doing. And I'm like, Savannah, I'm like thinking, bro, I just spent freaking tons of money on this conference. I just spent all these hours getting positivity in my head. And the first thing when I walk out of the hotel is this dude talking bad about, I'm like, why didn't you join Uber? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, don't just come here and tell me all your negative stuff. Then the Uber gets there. Oh my goodness. And he starts talking about how Fort Lauderdale drivers are so stupid, are so dumb, and all these other, and I'm like, Savannah, people need to shut up. Like, shut up. Don't get in my head. We are just in this positivity, right? And then we go into the airport and we're so excited. We're like, oh my God, there has to be a Starbucks in the airport. We're gonna have coffee. And we get there, they're like, no Starbucks. No, and there's no Starbucks. So we're like, okay, let's go find a place where we can find some coffee. I don't know what was going on, but we couldn't get any coffee whatsoever at Fort Lauderdale Airport. The coffee machines in one Cuban place, 2, 3, 4 coffee places. 4. None of them had coffee. And we're like, what? All we're hearing is complaining and no. And we're like, what the freaks was going on? So by the way, yeah, so my flight was delayed like 3 hours. So I got home at like 2:30 in the morning. So last night, you know how you're like, those of you that have been like to base camp, right, or summit, and we woke out and we're like in cloud 9. We're like, oh, the world is my oyster, right, kind of thing. And then everything is so negative. Yeah, all of that happened. And I'm here like, nope, no, you're not ruining my mood. So it's been super wild. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to practice that. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna let that get to me. I'm not gonna let, as silly as it may sound, there's many situations in which you wake up in a good mood and then something happens and you have to practice. I'm only going to control what I can control. Like, I'm not gonna let that ruin my whole day. Is it a bad moment or is it a bad day? Okay, so I want you guys to think about that. Think about the day that Paula Chavez went all freaking day without coffee, and that was so rude. Okay, no, it's not about me, but that just telling you guys some stories so you guys get where I'm coming from. So, oh, this was good. When people say you forgot where you came, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Stormy. She said, people say you forgot where you came from. And she said, hell yeah, good. Because I didn't just do all this work and I didn't invest all this time and trying to transform my life to not change, to be in the same place. So don't feel bad, because I mean, I hear it too. Like, I've heard it like, oh, you've changed. I'm like, yeah, that was the point. The point was to change, to be better, to do better things. The better you do business, the better you become. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Your mouth. Ooh, this is good. Yes. Okay, so yeah, I'm glad I forgot where I came from because I no longer live there. No, that was TD Jakes. And then he said, your mouth is your vision's transportation. What you say, it's what's creating your vision. What you say. So you can't say, So for example, you can have big goals about, I don't know, changing your like changing your car or changing your house or like your income goals, and then and what you're saying all the time is complaining about customers, complaining about this, complaining about the company, complaining about the world, if you're always complaining, you're just gonna attract more of that. So our mouth attracts our vision. Our mouth is our vision. Our mouth is our vision's transportation. Tell people how they fit in your vision. And this is something like what I told you guys, and I told the girls yesterday. I'm like, I've always thought about it, but I never really kind of like put it out there so that you guys feel like you're also part of that vision. So the whole team name of impact, right, is like we want to make an impact in people's lives. Exactly, we want to make an impact in people's lives. We want to help other people, but I'm taking it like a step further. And I told you guys, I want to create millionaires. I want our team to have 100 millionaires, like 100 people being recognized on stage because they've earned more than $1 million in Zaya. And now it's like, it's so clear in my head. And I want you guys to think that, I mean, your goal doesn't have to be, obviously my goal doesn't have to be your goal. But if you're in alignment with that you are thinking, I am showing up as the millionaire that I'm going to be, because I'm going to be one of those people that Paula's saying that are going to be on our team, standing there being recognized as millionaires. Do you have to want to be $1 million earner? You don't have to. But if you're sitting there and you're thinking, holy crap, I want to be one of those, then you have, you know, right? You have to show up with that vision that I'm going to be one of those 100. I'm going to be one of those. And I'm going to look for more because I want to have more standing there being recognized with me. So letting people being part of your vision, showing up and sharing with people, because when nobody knows where we're going, then we're not going anywhere, right? It's a total different like clarity when you know where you want to go. The biggest reason why you're not getting attention and customers, and this was from Pete Vargas, is we're not selling. We're not getting people's attention. If you are not selling, it's because you are not getting people's attention. If we're not selling, it's because we're not getting people's attention. Always be selling. Always be selling. And by always be selling is, how can I, you can sell, selling is not just showing the clothes, but selling is also showing how you're changing, how you're growing, like you're selling the lifestyle that you live now, how you're building this new version of you, right? Like you're selling that, you're selling it, showing how it's benefiting you and how it's changing you and how you're doing it. Let me see. Okay, so now I'm in Stormy's, and I tell you, it was so powerful. I'm like, I don't even want to write. I just want to listen. I want to soak it all up. Don't talk about who you are. Show them. Don't talk about who you are. Show them who you are. Don't talk about who you are. Show who you are. What do you want from the things you're doing? Oh, this is good. You're either, at any point, you're either a seed, the soil, or the sap. I had never heard this word. So help a sister out, saboteur. And I'm like Googling, I'm like Salvatore, I don't know. But from what she was saying, it's like, don't sabotage yourself. Don't be the person that sabotages themselves. So you can be the seed, right? Like you're the seed. People are pouring into you. You are listening. You are paying attention. You are soaking in all the things that you are learning, and that you're, that you're seeking the knowledge, and you're doing, and you're growing, and you're implementing, and you're taking feedback. You can also be the soil. The soil means the person that is protecting that seed, the person that is helping and mentoring that seed. But you can also be the person that's sabotaging themselves. So what do you want to be? I want to be a seed, and I want to be the soil for somebody else. But most importantly, I want to be a seed, and I want to show and lead with that behavior of being a seed, so that others can see it and say, oh, I want to be that too. Okay. People around you need an example. People around you need somebody to be the one leading the way. In your community, in your friends, in your circle, in the people that are paying attention to what you're doing, you are the example for them. And the other thing is surrounding yourself by people that are in alignment with what you're doing. They're also doing the same. The circle applies pressure. I think that's good. Your circle, get in the right circle, but the circle applies pressure, because a bad circle can also apply bad pressure, right? If you're with the wrong people, they can also apply pressure and talk you out of your things. Like the circle from yesterday, the taxi driver, the Uber driver, blah, 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 and all this negativity. I was like, I'm about to jump out of this car, Savannah. Like, this guy is driving me nuts, complaining about traffic. He did not shut up for 20 minutes. Blah, 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 in that front seat. And I'm here like, what just happened? This is like the devil testing us. We got out and we were like, what just happened? Holy moly. Like, sometimes you can just walk away from it. It's not even like it's sometimes it's beyond scrolling, right? Like, okay, oh my God, I'm done watching the news. I'm going to turn the button up. But like, I couldn't jump out of the Uber, right? And the guy wouldn't even be quiet to say, hey, can you just like stop talking? Or you never know, you piss somebody off, and like, maybe he wouldn't have taken us to the airport. So I'm like, I'm just gonna shush my mouth, think about unicorns and rainbows, and get out at the first at the first stop. So yeah, it's crazy. So we have to guard that. Okay. Now, super, super, super important. Okay, let me go to my other notebook here, because I do want you guys to a lot of the stuff. Okay, so here, let me ask you actually a question. There were some financial tips. There were business tips. I already shared some with you guys. There's some team building tips, and there's some financial, like wealth tips. What do you want to hear more about? Tell me in the chat. Do you want wealth? Do you want everything? Do you want, like, I don't want to give you more motivational stuff, because I want to really give you guys like the good stuff. Oh, he talked about, this is team story, all the things. That's good. Team story. And I want you guys to think about this. You guys know Iron Man, right? Robert Downey Jr. Think about this guy. He was in jail, drugs, like total failure up until I don't even know what year this was. And he landed a role that completely changed everybody's life. Like, I freaking love Iron Man. I seriously, I couldn't believe that they killed him, and like the character. And I was never a comic person, but I just love his comeback story as the actor, right? Like the human, but just, I don't know, like his leadership and like just the character of Iron Man. And if you don't watch Avengers, I'm sorry, like you guys go watch it, because it's so good. But the fact that I wasn't expecting him to die. So I'm sitting there, and I still, right now, I can't watch that scene, because it's like, what? But it's such a powerful comeback story. And like, it doesn't matter what happened in the past. You can always become the hero. You can always become a game changer. You can always become the leader. It doesn't matter what was in the past. So we have to forget, we can't look back so much at where we were, at our mistakes. We just have to look forward. And I think just telling you that, you can, if you know his story, you can immediately think, holy cow, yeah, you're right. I know I'm right. I love that. And it's like, the greater the setback, the greater the comeback. And I know that many people right now are having a lot of setbacks. And I was just writing that, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited about this comeback. I know there's a lot going on in our economy, in our society. There's so many distractions right now. People are busy. Apparently now people care about the Oscars, when for the last years nobody cared about the Oscars, but now we do, because something happened, caught our attention. Okay, but if you want to create something bigger, you have to get bigger. And by getting bigger, I mean, is getting around bigger people. This is from Grant. Get around people that are playing bigger, get around people that are showing up with discipline, with consistency. Those are the people that you need to be around. What you have, oh, this was from Rick Ross. What you have every day, I'm hustling. Like, I didn't know this guy. And now I'm like, I need to play his songs on repeat. What you have in the mind is what you have in your heart. What you're thinking is what's going on in your heart. Okay? Be ready to sacrifice all. Your goals don't care about your excuses. Boom! Your goals don't care about your excuses. My goals don't want to hear about my excuses. Be the best version of yourself. Find a way to keep the money. Don't leave any money on the table. That was important. Don't leave money on the table. Find a way to keep. So how does this translate into our business? Somebody says, oh, I love those leggings. Follow up. Even if they don't, somebody manifested, said out loud that they have potentially interest in something. They raised their hand. They told you, hey, I'm interested. They may be procrastinating. They may forget. They may get busy. Don't leave money on the table. That person raised their hand. They may need something. They're looking at something. Close the deal. Make sure you follow up. Make sure you're taking note of everybody that's showing interest, everybody that's paying attention, everybody that's raising their hand, and follow up with them. Be the one that shows up with excellence. And I think it was Brandon Grant's partner yesterday said, customers are the most important part of your business, of our business, like our customers, and delivering excellent service to our customers. Okay. Oh, this is good. All assets become like, so this is what happened. I'll tell you guys a secret. When Trump showed up and the world found out that Trump was the speaker, 3 of other big speakers canceled. 3 speakers canceled on them. It was insane. Most people didn't notice. He didn't say who he was. They're not saying who it was, maybe one day. But the good thing was that they never announced who the speakers were. So they would have given so much promotion and so much publicity to someone. What is it? Okay. And they canceled. And I know one of them, and I won't tell you the name, but I know he just retired from football and he's coming back. And it's because of his brand, because of his name. When your name, what we're talking about, protecting your name and making your name so, like so solid that everything that you do can become a liability. So you show up at a place where there's, this person has been so controversial, so many things. They could take endorsements from you. You could be in violation of contracts and all these things. So with power comes a lot of liability. And that's exciting. Like I like when you think about that having a name so strong that every move you make, it has to be planned, right? I don't know. Does that intimidate you? Tell me in the comments. Does that intimidate you? Or you're like, oh my God, that gives me chills. I'm excited. Tell me. Like, I'm like, bring it on. Bring it on. Vero, you know this. In our past events here in Orlando, we had, for 2 different events, we had 2 people outside of Zaya that we had booked to come speak. I never promoted them. I never promoted, we never announced who they were. Not many people knew who they were. Like, it's gonna be a surprise. We'll promote them after the event, and they canceled. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna give you a free promotion. I'm not gonna give you free advertising. I'm giving you the opportunity to bring you into our team, welcome you into our community, and allow you to share. And then you create, right? Like, you create a place where people want to follow you, where they want to be. But if you don't keep your promise, then bye. So it's kind of tricky. And that may not be, like, this may not be of interest to you guys. I don't know, but our most valuable assets are time and our personality. Our time and our personality. How we manage our personality and how we spend our time. Those are your 2 biggest assets. Your time, your personality. Believe in your own name. Yeah, believe in your own name more than any others. Like him, you know. Oh yeah, this is good. So this was Friday. Yeah, not Friday, Sunday, because obviously they needed spots to fill because of the other people that canceled. We had, and I was super happy about it. Like, I can listen to Brent for 5 days straight. I don't care. Like, I don't need other speakers. He knows so much about wealth and all this business and so many things. So we had like extra grant Sunday afternoon, and he did basically like a summary of everybody and like his takeaways. And he said, hold on, what is it here? About Trump, whether you like him or not, he was a president. Like, whether you like the biggest, most powerful position in the world, whether you like him or not, he ran for president and he won, right? Like, whether people like you or not, you're going to make, you have the ability to succeed. So you can't worry about the people that don't like you. And organically, we focus on a little negative comment or a little assumption about something, and we forget the good things that are happening. So always try to bring yourself back. It's almost like you're constantly bringing the balloon back, right? Like, hey, no, Megan, don't go that way. Come back. No, Veronica, no, get back here, right? Like, doing that to ourselves. He's okay. So now he started talking about finances. And one important tip that I want you guys to write down, as you increase your paychecks, because that's the goal, to increase our paychecks. As you start increasing your paychecks, don't spend all the money. Think that you are building wealth, right? Like, you have the ability to build wealth with this business. And as your checks start increasing, get excited about it. Get excited about tracking your numbers, and get excited about seeing how can I be better today than I was yesterday? How can I be better? How can I do better this week than I was last week? How can I get better this month than the last month, right? And he said, take 40%. So wealthy people take 40% of their income every month to invest it. Regardless of where your finances are, he said, if you don't have enough money to pay the bills, the problem is you need to make more income. And the way to make more income is increasing sales. It's not about spending less. We've been there. a little before we started Zaya, we were like, we canceled cable, we canceled everything. We weren't eating out. We canceled even the phone plan. We lowered it to a point that at the end of the month, I couldn't use the phone because I had used it so much. I could not get on like nothing because I would go over and then we would have to pay. And a couple of times I went over and it was devastating because it was even more expensive, right? So we couldn't put gas in the car. So the problem wasn't spend less. It's like we're not spending on anything. We were spending what we needed. The problem was we needed more income, right? And once you start increasing your paychecks, don't increase your life, your means. Like don't spend more. Hold on to the money. Hold on to your money. Don't leave money on the table. Hold on to the money and start building your future. That is exciting. That should be exciting for you. If month after month you're spending the money and you're not seeing the fruit of your work, it's easier to give up. It's easier to quit. I heard from Grant I don't know, I would say I started with Zaya 4 years ago. I think about 6 months into Zaya, I heard Grant, I was watching, I think a YouTube video or something. He said, as you increase your paychecks, save 10% more. So we were saving 30% for taxes. And I told my husband, babe, I just heard Grant said this, and I just said it casually. And then the next month I got paid my Zaya check, right? Like my little checks in that moment. And my husband was like, I know, I said to my husband, where did my Zaya go? My check. He's like, oh, I transfer this to savings. I transfer this for taxes. I'm like, I was gonna buy something. He's like, no, we gotta save it. And you told me that we need to save 40%. And that's how we started being able to save to pay off the ridiculous amount of credit card debt that we had. And our credit card debt was from food shopping, from having to change the tires on the car. It wasn't from buying expensive junk. No, it was from living expenses on credit card. To me, that was awful. I hated going to the store with a credit card to buy groceries because I'm like, there's just no way we needed more income. So, and they said like the proven way to increase our income is sales. Like the money is not gonna fall off the sky. It's from sales, right? What thing? Oh yeah, if you want to get rich, you have to go all in on you. On you. You have to go all in on you. What things do you need to get out of your life so you can get to the life you want? What things do you need to get rid of? What are things that are weighing you down? What are things that, you know what, just get rid of them? And that can include people, clutter, habits, you know, people pleasing, so many things. What do you need to get rid of? Invest in yourself like you believe in yourself. Okay. Yeah, so that. And then the last one from Monday, which was like, for me, I would say it was one of my favorite days, Monday, which was a mastermind that I didn't even know I had access to. So I had to change my flight and I almost didn't. And it honestly, it turned out being like my favorite thing. I was sitting on the front row and like Grant was there, like on the stage, like right there, like 5 steps away from me. So it's like, oh my God, it's just like this real person that came from nothing. I just love that. I don't know if you guys pay attention to that, but if you don't see that what's possible for you when you're seeing somebody else's stories of how they started from nothing and then they became something and then they're doing that for other people, you have to visualize yourselves and see that that's possible for us too. It's not, oh my God, good for you. No, it's, oh my God, I'm so grateful that you did it because it's showing me that I can do it too. Do you guys understand that? It's so powerful. Okay, let me see, because my handwriting here is super insane. But solve problems that people already have. What problems do our prospects, followers, potential customers have already that we can solve? Our goal is not to create more problems for them. It's to identify what problems they already have that we can solve, right? Leggings that roll, leggings that don't stay up when they're doing burpees. I don't know, tummy that, you know, they don't feel confident. We don't feel confident. I don't know. What is one problem that we solve? Comment in the chat so we can all take note. What is one problem that we solve? Go ahead. Go, 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 go. Let's go. Let's go. And this is also important. Be more afraid of what happens if you don't do this. Be more afraid of what happens if you don't do it. 10x your efforts. Create a business. Your goal should be to create, or our goal, my goal is to create a business that will take care of my family. I don't want to leave problems for my family. If something happens to me, I want to have something that my family can be taken care of. We're just thinking, how am I gonna make it through this month? I don't think that way. I think long term. So when I have a bad month, I'm not defeated by a bad month because I'm thinking big picture, because I'm looking at what's possible in the bigger picture. Most people quit because they had one stupid bad party. It's a shame. One bad party doesn't determine what you can accomplish with this business. Put in more numbers, put in more, find ways to get more people's attention, right? And that's why we learn marketing. That's what we talk about reels. And that's why we talk about, you know, graphics and learning those things. There's a learning curve, yes. And sometimes we try and we try and we try. Like, I'm still waiting for my reels to go viral. Come on, people. But I'm still doing it because I have faith that it's going to happen when it needs to happen. Maybe I'm not ready to deal with 1,000 customers in one day from a reel, right? It may be that. Maybe I'm not ready to receive it, so it's not being given to me yet. Because there will be that day if I stay consistent. The same for you guys. The same. Sometimes we're not given what we want because we're just not ready to receive it. Right? Okay. Safe on your way. And nice. And people need to feel safe. People need to feel safe with you. Oh, this was good. People need to feel safe with you. And I think that's where a lot of, oh my God, it's already 10. Jesus Christ, I can talk all day about this. Oh my goodness. People need to feel safe with you. And okay, so I was gonna say, the best way for people to get to know us, to shorten the amount of time that it takes for people to trust us, to feel safe with us, is video. Doing the live videos, doing like talking, doing in the stories, like showing up as our true selves and not Josiah outfits and not Josiah pictures, but really sharing more of our daily actions. That says more about who we are, and it shortens the curve. It shortens the amount of time that it takes for somebody to say, oh, wow, I see you, Tanya. I feel like I like you. I feel like I relate to you. I want to buy from you. I want to support you. I want to help you earn that trip that you said you wanted to earn. Or, you know what? I see you working. I see you. You're so awesome. I want to support your business. That's how customers work. Like, they have to know us. They have to kind of like feel a good vibe. So if we're here showing up inconsistently and not being our true selves, people don't flow us. People don't trust us, so they don't want to buy from us. They're like, we are just another who's there? We're just another Facebook friend por ahí. No, I have this. What happened? I don't know. These people are like, what's up?
You got an assignment now.
I do. I have an assignment. Okay, I will get to my assignment. You guys, I'm not done. Bye, Felicia's. Okay, no, I'm gonna let you guys go. But let me see. Did I say something yesterday that I haven't said yes, so that we don't leave it? The greatest hack to get where you want to get is, who are you going to work with? So when we're talking, like when we're having those conversations, it's also about feeling confident with ourselves, that we're talking to people decide, man, I love your energy, I love your enthusiasm, I love how you know where you're going, I want to work with you. It's not about how successful you are. I want you guys to understand that it's your confidence and your enthusiasm and your energy that will make other people say, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where I don't know what we're going to do, but I just want to go with you. I want to get on that car with you. Let's go. And I'm proof in the beginning and still right now. Half of the time, I always tell you guys, I have no idea what's happening, but we're doing it. Right? And some of you say, all right, let's go. In the beginning, people, when I joined Saya, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking for the 6 founders of my team, and numbers people, like, what's the compensation plan? I'm like, I have no idea. We'll figure it out. Oh, and what is this? And like, where is the product made? Like, I'm like, I have no idea, but look how cute these leggings are. Let's go sell them. That's it. Like, it's when people ask like those type of questions, they're curious. They just need a little, like, a little energy, a little more energy, right? So many times that handles it. And then there's so much more. I'm gonna record some podcasts about this because there's just so much. One of my favorite speakers was Brandon Dawson, who's like Grant's partner in like the business development part. So he talked, and I talked to him out. Well, I'll tell you guys this one. I asked him about with Saya, we can't, because they talk about, so for example, Grant, he played a video talking about where he says, oh, come work with us. This is how listen to the stories of some of our employees, right? So some of their salespeople on this video, they say, oh, I'm in my first year, I made this amount. And in my first, we can't do that. So I went to him and I asked him, I can't talk about that. We can't talk about figures. Like, I can't say, this is how much people on the team are making, this is how much I made, or blah, blah, blah. We can't do that. And he said, you don't have to. He said, share how the stories of other people without the numbers, but like the stories. And we know this. So I want you guys to think about this. Share about the benefit of the benefit. And most importantly, understanding this. And this, he said he worked with Primerica for I don't know how many years, long time ago. The difference, so pay attention to this, the difference between a business owner that has employees and us being business owners with a volunteer army. You are all a volunteer army. I can't tell you what to do. I can mentor you and I can give you ideas and I can share, but I'm not going to go to you and say, did you do this? Or you're fired, right? Like, we don't do that because that's not how we work. Oh, and actually my question was to him was more like, how do we have a lot of people that join because they want the discount or they want community, but how do we inspire people, or how do we get people to maybe say, oh wow, this is possible? Yeah, that was my question. Like, I can't tell them this is possible with numbers so that they see them. He said it's even easier because the people that want to be successful, they rise up on their own. Like they get up and they say, I want to do this, help me. Or they start doing it themselves. So he said, it's just numbers. You just have to, when you hire somebody for sales, if they don't perform, you fire them. It's as simple as that. If they're not performing, you fire them. If out of 10 people that you bring on your team, 9 don't perform, there's no performing. Does that make sense? Is that there's no performing here because nobody's going to fire you. Nobody's demanding you do an amount. You just have to keep showing up in a way that people that want to be successful, people that want to create results like you attract those type of people. So in conclusion, to put a bow on this so that it's not super long, show up as the person that you want to become. If you're thinking, I want to be a 6-figure earner, start thinking, how does a 6-figure earner show up? If you are still the same person that you were a year ago, it's time to evolve. If you're still showing up, or you're still carrying these habits and these things that are weighing you down, it's time to get rid of them. And it's time to manage our time and our personality and be ourselves and show more of that. That's, I mean, there's so much more. So many notes, but I will share more as the days go. Just, you know, it's amazing what's possible. Just watching how much, my goodness, how much money is made and how much money people can donate to like children foundation, like that's what got me more excited. I'm like, I want to be able to do more for people. And I know that there's more in me. I know there's more in you guys. I know there's more within all of us. And that I know there are going to be hardships and there are going to be hard days, but anything is possible. If we can see it, we can achieve it. So go to bed thinking about that. Who is this new person that you want to go after now? And I want to give you guys an assignment. Think about one takeaway from what you guys, I saw some of you taking notes, thinking like, ooh, that hit me, and expand it on a post before you go to bed. Write something in it could be a quote, it could be something, share it, and continue sharing your journey with people. That's what's going to inspire more people. People are too busy and too distracted with dumb stuff. Let's change the narrative for people. All right, guys. Love you. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you soon. 10X, baby. Oh, photo. I'm ready. Bye. La foto.